Our next contestant, Samantha Jung-Fielding, Wedded Bliss. Wedded Bliss, please welcome Samantha Jung-Fielding.
To mention that I've been married 3 times. You might consider this a tad excessive, especially for someone as young and beautiful as myself. Contest chair, judges, fellow Toastmasters, guests. I lay the blame firmly at the feet of men. For in my experience, husbands tend to wear out after around 10 years. As with any provocative hypothesis, I thought it best to conduct an international research study. To start, I married a French-speaking Belgian, then an Englishman, and my current squeeze is German. Fresh from the field of research, I bring you my top tips for wedded bliss. Firstly, embrace stereotypes. They give you some insight into what's to come. German equals perfect. Otherwise epitomised by Audi's famous byline, Vorsprung durch Technik, literally translated, progress through technology. With a German, expect thorough, precise, clean, as well as stark honesty. I quickly learned never to ask my husband, "Babe, does my bum look big in this?" When he responded, "With an arse that size, it's going to look huge no matter what you wear." With justification, my second top tip for wedded bliss is always to lower your expectations. For who can predict the effects of stress on candour? When I went into labour with our youngest child, my husband immediately phoned the hospital for precise instructions. They told him it would be hours before I actually gave birth, at which point my waters broke all over the living room carpet. Utterly exasperated by this audacious disorder, Mr. Neat and Tidy German immediately whips out a bucket, begins scrubbing. Summarily dismissed, I hobble into the bathroom, where I quickly realise that my unborn child hasn't listened to a word the hospital nurse said. Summoned by my genteel yells, hubby appears, bucket in hand, to be greeted by something like a scene from Alien gone wrong. 2 heads. My visions of a white knight in shining armour rapidly evaporate when he moans, "What do I do?" Big hint. At that precise moment, the baby births. Newborns, they're slippery little critters. I fumble the catch, and she falls straight down the toilet. I'll leave it to you to determine who was the most surprised. As I fish the child out of the lavatory, her daddy, staring fixedly, is still awaiting instructions. I send him off to fetch towels. He rushes back with an armful, only to hear me say, "Not those towels, they're the new towels. Go get the old towels." From her very husband has been completely incapable of correctly dressing our daughter, even in something as simple as a towel. My third recommendation for Wedded Bliss therefore has to be, never leave your husband in charge of your daughter's clothing. On many an occasion, I discovered my toddler, her t-shirt inside out, her dress on back to front, the zip poking into her throat. Worse was to come. 2 years ago, I launched a brand new charity endeavour, the Great Auckland Bed Race. To fund the initial project, I cajoled the team into bucket collections, armed with a prototype racing bed and a small bunch of children gathered on street corners. We don't feed them for a few days beforehand to encourage generous giving. Outside Countdown, my youngest is fed up fundraising and she hops onto the prototype racing bed for a little snooze. Don't you just love the way children can sleep literally anywhere? And they don't give a jot if their clothes hitch right up around their midriff whilst they're snoring peacefully. Mummy and Daddy, however, are somewhat stunned to find themselves staring at one another across a tiny, naked, white bum. My charity colleagues are already nudging one another and whispering just like her mother. As I hiss at Vorsprung technique, how come she's not wearing any knickers? Mr. Perfect throws me a blatantly innocent look and responds, "You've always said the key to wedded bliss is plenty of cheeky white bum moments." Third marriage, 6 years in. Do you think he'll last the course? Or do I take it to the next level? After all, there might be nationalities here today that I haven't yet married. Carpe diem, gentlemen, seize the day. Your reward could be 10 years